You ever take a close look at your hotel bill and maybe you notice the so-called resort fee charge, those mandatory charges that weren't obvious when you booked the room and you're like, what are these? Now some customers are fighting back. NBC's Carrie Sanders has more on that story.
It's become a fact of life. Hotels adding charges to the final bill, the so-called resort fee. The Chavez family booked a $35 a night Las Vegas hotel, but then the final bill included a $32 resort fee.
Isn't that what they call bait and switch?
Chavez says he questioned the fee, retelling us his back and forth with the hotel clerk.
What is that for? Oh, for the pool. Well, I don't use the pool. She says, well, it's for the other things, the other amenities. What amenities? If you want to go out and play tennis, the towels.
The towels?
Yeah. And I said, no.
A New York University study estimates hotels here in the U.S. collect more than $1 billion a year in these fees. Experts say third-party booking sites sell rooms so low that hotels then drive prices back up with non-negotiable resort fees. The Hotel and Lodging Association says resort fees are clearly and prominently displayed by hotel websites prior to the end of the booking process. Online booking sites, they say, should be held to the same standards of transparency. While the hotel industry appears unwilling to budge on resort fees, it may soon have no choice. And that's because here in Washington, there is now pending legislation that would make these surprise resort fees illegal.
Resort fees are deceptive, it's unfair, and it's wrong.
U.S. Representative Jeff Fortenberry now pushing a federal law. Treat hotels like airlines, where a ticket guarantees you a seat on a plane.
It's a perfect analogy. Just tell us what the price is, period. And again, this creates a level playing field so that people can actually compare when they're shopping, particularly online.
From her kitchen, attorney Lauren Wolf launched KillResortFees.com after contesting a $20 additional resort fee when she traveled to Key West. She says some hotels even hide resort fees. For example, in New York, one labels it a New York City mandatory facility hotel fee. Sounds like a government cost.
Exactly.
But it is not?
It is not. It's part of the room rate that they're breaking out into a fee and making it look like a tax.
Scam?
I think so.
Resort fees, that tiny print you should check out before you check in. Kerry Sanders, NBC News, Las Vegas.
Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News at noon.
Breaking news at noon. Police are in Southwest Houston are where a body was found in a ditch. Ahead, what police are saying at the scene.
Also, new alarming numbers about the coronavirus. Ahead, how many people China now says have died in that country and why they fear more people could get infected.
Plus, here's a live look at the radar. The majority of the storms are to the north of us, but rain is expected for most of the week. Justin will have a timeline coming up in just a moment.
Now to an update to breaking news we first brought you at midday. A homicide investigation in Southwest Houston.
Yeah, police are on the scene where a body was found there. Here's a map of where this is all happening on Parcel 3 and Holmes Road, not far from NRG Stadium. Channel 2's Vincent Crivelli is live on the scene with the latest. Vincent?
Yeah, good afternoon. We just got an update from authorities. Let me show you guys how the investigation here is progressing. Detectives say around 9 o'clock this morning, a worker is picking up trash along the road and found a body in this ditch with a gunshot wound. Authorities say they haven't found any shell casings or much evidence at the scene, which is why they believe the body was dumped here. Now, crime scene tape is up in this industrial area. This road is between two concrete mixing facilities, and at the moment, we have no information on a possible suspect. What's the toughest part about this investigation?
Just the unknowns, the fact that we don't have an identity, we don't have any eyewitnesses, and we don't believe that the incident occurred here. So that always definitely adds a higher degree of difficulty to our investigation.
And detectives say in the last couple of months there was another body dumped nearby. Meanwhile, the investigation here continues. Reporting live in Southwest Houston, Vincent Crivelli, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Now to the latest in the coronavirus. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee wants people to know they have nothing to worry about when it comes to their safety here in Houston. She just wrapped up a news conference talking about plans to combat the illness. It was held at Bush Intercontinental Airport. She was joined by leaders from the Chinese government, the TSA, and local physicians. Congresswoman Jackson Lee says people should know the facts and not spread rumors.
It is absolutely dangerous because when you create a panic You could lose a life because you created a panic. It's just like you crying out fire in a crowded theater.
Health officials confirm there are no known cases of the virus in the Houston area.
Meantime, the death toll in China is now at 910 people from the coronavirus. The number of confirmed cases is now over 40,000 worldwide. The big worry in China is that millions of people are returning to work this week after the Lunar New Year break. The illness has forced many to work from home with strict quarantine guidelines.
All right, turning our attention to our weather now, and quite a change is on the way.
Yeah, it's warm and soupy out there, Justin, and we're wondering when the rain's going to be showing up.
Well, there's still the rain out there now, but the heavy stuff's going to stay north of us and likely will do so and stay that way for a good chunk of the day today. Our Kaplan Science Relief camera, look at this. These temperatures way above where they should be. Mid-60s is where we should be. We're nowhere close to that. This is more like mid-April weather out there, with one exception. Here's the front. Look at all the green. That indicates much cooler temperatures. It's 59 degrees up near Bryan College Station. So there is that front. Now, the big question is tonight, tomorrow, is how far south does that front move? It may waggle its way in through downtown. It may stay a little further north. We're just going to have to watch and see how things develop. I'll show you one of our computer models that believes that it may cool everybody off by tomorrow. But right now, starting to see the early afternoon showers flare up here. Nothing heavy, nothing serious, and nothing severe. So that's certainly good. But do make sure that you've got the umbrella handy and keep the wipers on as well. Just a mess from Lubbock all the way over to Wichita Falls. Amarillo now starting to see snow. So that's kind of the cold end of this first wave of what's going to be about 3 or 4 moving their way through, including this little area of low pressure that's down in towards the Baja. That was bringing in some hail and some heavy rain across Los Angeles yesterday for the Oscars. That is going to move in through the state on Wednesday. We'll talk about the timing of that as we go on through, but for the rest of this afternoon, just be ready for it to stay murky, mild, and certainly very muggy as well. We'll get into the rest of the work week forecast and show you when things finally start to clear out just a bit.
All right, Justin, thank you. Now to the latest on a developing story we've been tracking since 2018. A teenage girl accused of taking part in the murder of a Lamar High School classmate went before a judge this morning. Kiana Mouton is charged as an adult in the case for reportedly luring DeLindsey Mack to where he was killed. Channel 2's Taisha Walker is in downtown Houston with more on what happened in court.
Murder suspect Kiana Mouton made her first court appearance today after being charged as an adult. Mouton stood before a judge wearing an orange jumpsuit and handcuffs. Today, a judge found probable cause and set bond conditions. Should she make her $450,000 bond, she'll have to wear a GPS monitor, stay under house arrest, and she cannot have contact with her 2 co-defendants, known gang members. Prosecutors say Mouton was texting and video chatting with one of the men who shot and killed DeLindsey Mack in November of 2018. They say she was walking with Mack and another girl near Lamar High School and abandoned them right before 2 men drove up and began shooting. Mack's mother was also in court today, very emotional, holding back tears. We know that Mouton's attorneys say they cannot comment on her possible involvement until they know more evidence and facts about the case. Meanwhile, the state declined to comment. From downtown, Taisha Walker, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Breaking news right now out of Arkansas. That is where 3 people have been shot at a Walmart in Forest City. Details still coming in, but here's what we do know right now. The shooting happened inside of the Walmart location. Police are working to secure the scene right now. Forest City is about 45 miles away from Memphis, Tennessee. We don't know the condition of the people shot or any suspect information at this hour. We will continue to follow this story and bring you updates both on air and online.
New information into a horrific crash that killed 3 people. The driver accused of causing it admitted to smoking PCP before getting behind the wheel. Surveillance video just released this morning showing what happened. Investigators say Gregory Smith ran a red light at Anton and Beltway 8, crashing into another vehicle before it burst into flames. Smith now charged with 3 counts of intoxication manslaughter. Prosecutors say those charges could be upgraded as they work to get justice for the victims.
3 generations of one family were wiped out for nothing, for an incredibly selfish act. And our goal is to get this individual to trial or to a plea as quickly as possible for the family, but also for the community as a whole.
Smith is still in the hospital with a broken leg and shoulder issues. He could be in court on Friday.
This afternoon, police are trying to figure out a motive behind a kidnapping and deadly shooting in Southeast Houston. At this hour, one person is in custody. Police say that person shot and killed a man and then kidnapped the victim's girlfriend. This happened near MLK Boulevard and Van Fleet Street. Officers later found the two in the parking lot of an apartment complex in Clear Lake. We're told the woman is safe. No word on whether the suspect knew the victims.
In Katy, deputies say a business owner confronted a group of would-be burglars who were targeting his auto parts store. The man shot one suspected thief on Cinnamon and the Katy Freeway last night. It's believed the shooting scared off a second man. A woman was detained at the scene. The man who was shot is expected to be okay.
Sheriff deputies trying to figure out if a fight over a cell phone led to a double stabbing in Northeast Harris County. They say a man and a teenager were stabbed during the fight just after midnight on Alderson and Beacon Streets. So far, no word if deputies have made any arrests in this case.
Charges have now been filed in the deadly shooting of a man in Southwest Houston. Julio Ventura charged with murder. He's accused of killing Pedro Fraga. Police responding to the call yesterday on Colony Heath and Valley Cove Lane. They say Ventura walked up to the driver's sides of Fraga's vehicle and then fired several times. Fraga died at the scene. Police have not released a motive.
An update now on that deadly explosion in Northwest Houston that damaged hundreds of homes late last month and killed 3 people. There are 2 hearings scheduled for today to possibly set more temporary restraining orders against Watson Grinding and Manufacturing. It is estimated over 400 structures were damaged in that blast.
Now to the future of space and a big new mission.
Yeah, move over, Moon. NASA wants now to go to the sun. The space agency says a new spacecraft is journeying to the star at the center of our solar system for a historic mission. The solar orbiter will try to snap the first pictures of the sun's north and south poles. The orbiter is slated to launch from Cape Canaveral sometime next month.
This morning, the Democratic presidential candidates are crisscrossing New Hampshire.
That before tomorrow, all-important primary there. Still ahead, how some are pushing to make up ground and how frontrunners are aiming to build momentum.
And it all depends on what side of the front you're on this afternoon for your pickup forecast. If you're on the north side, you'll be in the 60s. South of that, it's the murky 70s. And everyone's going to be seeing a chance for rain. We'll talk more about the rest of your afternoon forecast coming up.
Plus, it's a historic plane. Many airlines are now phasing out. Next, the record of Boeing 747 just broke with the help of Mother Nature. That's next on Channel 2 News at noon.
You're watching Channel 2, Houston's home for news.
British Airways now has bragging rights for the fastest subsonic flight between New York and London. The Boeing 747 reached a top speed of more than 800 miles per hour. The flight got to its destination in just under 5 hours. The average is about 6 hours, 13 minutes. Heavy tailwinds also helping to speed up the flight. The 747 is being phased out by a lot of airlines. Coincidentally, the trip from New York to London was the 747's first commercial flight back when it was introduced way back in 1970.
Now to Decision 2020, where all the candidates are focused their attention now on New Hampshire. Today is the last day before that state's primary. NBC's Alice Barr is in Manchester with how the candidates are working to sway undecided voters.
Hi there. In the final hours before the first in the nation primary, a shifting picture in New Hampshire. A new poll from the Boston Globe shows Bernie Sanders pulling ahead of Pete Buttigieg in second place and Amy Klobuchar surging into third after a strong debate performance.
After that debate, something switched, and we'd done a lot of hard work to get there, but it just allowed the people of New Hampshire to see me in a different way.
Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren close behind in a make-or-break contest.
This is just getting started. I've said that from the very, very beginning. And I feel confident about where we are.
Dream big, fight hard, and win.
While some push to make up ground, frontrunners are aiming to build momentum with a clean win after the contentious results from the Iowa caucus. Just last night, the Iowa Democratic Party officially gave Buttigieg the highest delegate count, but Sanders plans to contest a few precincts.
This is, I think, what winning feels like.
We have an unprecedented grassroots movement
which is what you need to defeat Trump.
Candidates crisscrossing the state today to sway undecided voters in an up-close and personal contest. This mother and son taking it all in as political tourists.
You bump into, as you know, up here, candidates on the street or in diners like this one. So I don't think there's any place else in the country where you can get as close to the candidates.
And with the candidates running close together, both in polls and proximity, anything can happen when voting begins tomorrow. Alice Barr, NBC News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
It was a little over a week ago that we showed you Punxsutawney Phil and how he predicted an early spring on Groundhog Day. Well, apparently there are other animals that predict the weather. They want to be recognized too. At a zoo in Russia, they say an early spring is predicted after 2 young badgers woke up weeks earlier than expected. The badgers, apparently not the only animals in the zoo to also predict an early spring. We've got a hedgehog named Rambo who came out of his shelter last week, which his keeper says means warmer days are coming soon. And according to them, Rambo's annual predictions have always proven to be reliable.
And I woke up this morning and I was like, it's really muggy outside, so what is
early spring?
It means you're an animal, Christine.
I know. I was going to say, I feel like that's when you go, well, you know, my Aunt Beryl's bunions are hurting.
That's
so
right. Feel it in your bones.
Must be warm, right? Yeah, no, I think you throw it all out if you live down here in Southeast Texas, because it's like, hey, it's winter, and then tomorrow you're like, oh, got to turn on the heat. Now I got to turn on the AC.
Yeah, it's
right?
back and forth. Both
Which I did this morning,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, because woke up and the house was 77 degrees. I was like, wow, a little warm in here.
Hot.
Anyway, so that's going to be the case, and man, it's just going to be wild. I think the next 24 hours will be very interesting to see where this front goes, because it's all going to be about, as they say, what real estate, isn't it? Location, location, location. That's what we're dealing with right now. Location-wise, we are on the murky side of things. We've got temperatures that are all sitting in the mid to upper 70s, slightly cooler than that, but that's just because the sea fog is affecting folks down on the island. How about this? 59 degrees in Bryan College Station, and that is one of the reasons why we're going to see where that front is really going to determine what happens over the next 24 hours. So if you're on the north side of that, you're going to be cool, back to more of a winter-like feel. South side of that, it's going to feel more like late March, early April. So it's all just depending on where that is. South wind on the south side of the front, north wind on the north side. You get the idea. Same thing with the dew points. The dry air is out there from right around Brazos Valley moving northward. Meanwhile, everybody else is sitting in the upper 60s to low 70s for dew points, and that is why it feels as sticky as it does outside. 30s and 40s from Amarillo, Lubbock, where they're dealing with a little bit of frozen precipitation, even some snow, and then 45 in Dallas. So that front is cleared. Here's the problem with that. If we want this front to clear all the way down to the coast, we need the jet stream to come in like this, out of the northern Rockies, right? So it just pushes that front. Here's the problem, is that notice that the wind above the surface is running parallel with that front. What does that mean? Well, it basically means that that front can become stationary and doesn't really move, but it takes all this moisture and just kind of rides it along that, which is why you see all these flood warnings that have popped up across portions of the south. Now, I've highlighted this storm that was bringing in the nasty weather across LA yesterday for the Oscars. That is right now in the Baja, but it's going to roll kind of like a little marble through that jet stream and eventually swing through here, but it's going to take till Wednesday for that to happen. So the rest of this afternoon, now I'm going to show you one of our in-house computer models here, because it's fairly aggressive about how far south it moves that front. By 9 o'clock tonight, notice it has folks like Conroe, Huntsville, Tomball, and Katy in the 60s and 70s just to the south of that, and moves it all the way down right around the coastline where it plants it by tomorrow morning. If that's the case, we're going to see temperatures certainly starting off a little cooler, and eventually will stay in the 60s for a good chunk of the day. If that's not the case, then it all depends on where that front sets up. That will let us know exactly what we're going to deal with. What we do know is that we've got multiple chances for rain showers, not only the rest of this afternoon, but going into tomorrow. Notice we've got more snow back off to the west, and as we get in towards Tuesday night into Wednesday's forecast, same thing. This boundary continues to keep some of the heavy rain around, and then eventually as that moves eastward, we start to slowly dry things out, but not before we get a chance that we could pick up anywhere from around 2 to 3, maybe 4 inches. But you see, the majority of that is all going to stay well north of us. So just heads up, there are going to be some changes over the next couple of days. So we'll go moderate in the 70s today, mid 60s tomorrow, 70 on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday is when we clear out, just in time for Valentine's Day. So as I mentioned last night on the air, no excuses, fellas. You can't be like, well, honey, it's really gross out. So
no,
we can't do anything. See, there you go.
No excuses.
Gotta get creative. But not even on Friday, because it's gonna be nice. All right,
That's right.
Justin, thank you.
Thank you.
Got it.
All right, well, Valentine's Day is this Friday, so this morning our friends at Houston Life want to get you ready.
Yeah, and spring break will also be here before you know it. Derek and Courtney standing by with a preview. Happy Monday, guys.
Oh, happy Monday. We are so excited for a brand new week. Also fun to be hanging out with you fine ladies in Studio A. But let's talk about it. Valentine's Day, spring break, it's coming up. Sometimes when you take a little vacation, you end up feeling more exhausted, more stressed out just from all the travel. So today, our friend Gabe Saglier with Travel Zoo, he's actually going to break down some staycations for us, including a really great spa package at Hotel Alessandra in Houston. You got pool access, a facial, a massage. He's got a great deal. It's just one of many coming up.
And also continue that stress-free living with some Valentine's Day inspired cocktails.
Ooh.
Right? We are mixing up cocktails to impress your sweetie on Valentine's Day. We've got recipes for the Lovebird and a swipe right drink.
Oh
I
my
can't
gosh.
wait for that. Apparently there's aphrodisiacs like white chocolate and raspberry.
Oh dear.
We're kicking it up a notch on this Monday.
Excuse me. Also, Lauren Kelly, she has so much fun. Today she's going to be having even more fun. There they are, the Harlem Globetrotters. You know, this is their 94th year out on the road entertaining audiences. Great for the whole family, and Lauren is going to be hanging out with the team, the players, maybe learning some new moves ahead of their games right here in Houston. So as always, we hope you'll join us today at 1 o'clock. We're going to have a lot of fun on Houston Life.
Yeah, we know Lauren Kelly's got skills. We've
Oh, she
seen
does.
her.
Get to
I
see the
can't-
ball spin, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. All right, we'll see you guys at 1 o'clock on Houston Life.
Well, this morning, people talking about all the big surprises at the Academy Awards.
Yeah, still to come. It wasn't only the big wins from the movie Parasite that has folks talking, also the revelation of a new smartphone.
Plus, Eminem had folks dancing with his surprise performance. Next, what he had to say about snubbing the Academy nearly 20 years ago.
On 3 repairs.
For many, it was the best part of last night's Academy Awards, Eminem's surprise performance. It happened nearly 20 years after he skipped the Oscars when Lose Yourself won the Best Original Song in 2003 for the soundtrack to 8 Mile. The performance rocked the Dolby Theater, had everyone up on their feet. After the show, Eminem tweeted, quote, "Look, if you had another shot, another opportunity, thanks for having me at the Academy. Sorry it took me 18 years to get here."
I personally loved it. I know a lot of people were confused, but it was great.
Yes, very good surprise.
Yeah, and another big surprise, the movie Parasite winning Best Picture and Best International Feature last night.
Yeah, it also won Best Director and Best Original Screenplay, but there was also another surprise during the show for fans of smartphones. Samsung shocked some viewers by revealing its new flip phone.
Whoa.
The company showed off the Galaxy Z Flip in the 30-second commercial that aired. The phone can flip open to reveal one very large screen. We should learn more about the phone tomorrow as Samsung officially introduces it and several other new phones.
I think I need that. Reminds me of my sidekick from back in the day.
There we go.
All right, he's become one of the biggest logos in the business world.
Yeah, now the Aflac duck is celebrating its birthday, or Aflac. There we go, Aflac, right? The duck waddled onto TV screens for the first time in the year 2000. That's just 1 year after Geico introduced the talking gecko. Aflac's sales have been swimming since the introduction of the duck, up 325% in the past 2 decades.
Prices at the pump moving lower again. Gas has dropped an average of 7 cents nationwide over the past 2 weeks to $2.43 a gallon. That's according to AAA. Analysts say that's largely due to falling oil prices. Gas is still about 16 cents higher than a year ago. Across Texas, the average is even cheaper at $2.08. And here in Houston, we're a penny higher than that at $2.09.
All right, getting a live look now at the Southwest Freeway on this kind of murky, muggy Monday. Justin will have a look at your forecast coming up on the opposite end of the break.
And on this rainy Monday, a big question. Who invented the umbrella? I was just wondering that. Next, the answer and why we're celebrating the device today.
Nachos.
So Justin's been telling us all about the rain this week, and it seems fitting that today is National Umbrella Day. And isn't it just one of the most useful inventions ever?
Yes.
The umbrella dates back more than
Except that one.
4,000 years. That one's not so much, right? 4,000 years, guys. Primitive parasols used in places like ancient Egypt and Greece to shield folks from the very hot sun. But the Chinese are credited with inventing the first actual umbrellas that were used for rain.
Some of the videos cracking me up because, you know, you want, whenever it's raining, you're like, oh, yes, it's nice to have an umbrella. But then usually when it's windy like that, I mean, you're like a goner. It goes inside
flipping,
out.
it's outside.
I don't remember who it was, but it was one nasty day we had. had a couple of months ago. One of our reporters was standing out there, and I was just like, oh, bless her heart,
Just
man.
put it down.
Just try it.
Yeah,
I was like, just toss it. There's no point. You're going to just fight it, and it'll ruin your story. So, well, you're going to need it again today. We're starting to see the afternoon showers start to flare up. Nothing heavy out there. Turn the lightning on. I haven't seen any yet so far, but those are a quick little quarter inch if you get caught in one of those. So just be careful. We'll see more of that for today and tomorrow. I do think the front will get at least close enough to cool us off briefly, but still, watch out.
All right, stay dry out there. That's going to do it for us here at noon. We'll see you again at 4 p.m. Have a great day.